My name is Nicholas Xavier Harrison, a 2008 graduate of the Fort Valley State University. So as a high school student, I'll be honest, I checked all the boxes, right? I had two active parents in the household. I was on different sports teams, from baseball to debate. And then I also graduated valedictorian. So it wasn't so much a matter of if I would be going to school. It was a matter of where I'll be going to school. And as you could imagine, being valedictorian, it came with its own opportunities that you may not have readily thought of until the newspaper header came out and your face is listed next to, this momentous occasion, graduated in the class of 2004 from Glen Hills High School. The journey to Fort Valley is one that seems similar in that it was by divine grace that the opportunity presented itself. So Fort Valley State University is not a university that you readily think of when you think of the opportunities that you have from Augusta, Georgia. So for me, becoming a Wildcat meant that it was one of the last colleges to reach back out to me. Maybe that was because I was a little late in the application cycle. But the fact that the application got in, thanks to Mr. Tompkins, an alumni of Fort Valley State University, also one of my math teachers from Glen Hills High School in Augusta, Georgia, made me aware of the Presidential Scholarship. And to him, it was the perfect opportunity for me to make that transition into adulthood. In choosing Fort Valley, the idea is for me to become a dentist. So now I'm in the biology department. In going into the family of biology, I've really gained brothers and sisters who helped me to make it through Fort Valley. We were able to push each other through. When there's a test coming up, if one of us needed extra help to study for it, we were there for each other. And that lasted the entire time we were there. So whenever we see each other, it's like the reuniting of cousins. We were very, very close. We all held each other to the standard of, we have to pass this test. It is on us to pass Dr. Deere's class or Dr. Dixon's class. It was a standard that we all knew that we had to meet and rise to. In addition to that, those teachers and those professors, they also knew that we wanted to rise to that challenge. There was many times where they would just call us into the office and talk about that test that we just had as a class, as a unit. Talk about some of the things they noticed in our study habits, some of the things they noticed in how we were delivering the information. Like, I see that you have this understanding, but you're not making this connection. So let's go to the whiteboard together. In those moments, especially with someone like a Dr. Daniels, when he's trying to break down biochemistry to you, those moments were invaluable for me, because those are the handles, as I learned from another professor, that you pull on in your mind. Fort Valley for me, as I told you all, was me coming from a point where I have checked all the boxes. So the transition of Fort Valley for me wasn't so much as if I would succeed, just a matter of when. But imagine reaching graduation date and realizing that you missed something. The beautiful thing that Fort Valley gave me was the opportunity to still walk across the stage, actually making the cover of Making Telegraph as one of the spring 2008 graduates, and then giving me the opportunity to go back home to Augusta, Georgia, where I would have the opportunity to make up that stats class that I missed. It was a beautiful thing, just to be given that opportunity to not delay my graduation, to not be bogged down in more student loan or more rigor of academia because of one minor oversight. Fort Valley, that family, just like a mother would, gave me that grace and that opportunity to make things right. And that is the thing about Fort Valley, the grace and opportunity that you have to right your wrongs, even when maybe you didn't deserve it. So life for me beyond Fort Valley became that point where I must now do what everybody else expects for me to do. How do I now get to dental school? Despite no longer being a student at Fort Valley still extended resources to me that allowed for me to receive several study aids, several communications, and several opportunities so that I could begin to prepare myself for dental school. So thanks to those additional resources that Fort Valley extended to me, I was ultimately able to transition to another HBCU, which was Meharry Medical College. Now, while at Meharry, unfortunately, I hit a few roadblocks. True to fashion, Meharry and HBCU had the mamas and the grandmas and the cousins and the friends and family who all did their best to help me through Meharry. Ultimately, I wound up transitioning out of Meharry Medical College, and now I have a career as a stockbroker. Go figure. I did all I could to avoid math while at Fort Valley, and now every day my life has math in it. Currently, I work at Morgan Stanley as one of the executive platinum relationship managers. In this role, I get a very unique opportunity. I get to connect with CEOs, CFOs, decision makers throughout America about a very personal conversation, finances. And from these conversations that I have daily, from these lessons that I learned from acquiring different licensing within finance, I'm able to help shed light on investing, generational wealth, economic development. So by going through Fort Valley, by having the opportunity to go to Meharry Medical College, the one skill that I learned through all of this is if you can make it happen here, you can make it happen anywhere. Because you never had the best resources. You never had the cleanest path. The road wasn't exactly laid for you to make this choice, to have the decision that other people would be held accountable for. No. These opportunities that were afforded to me through Fort Valley taught me that if you work hard enough and you really, really want this opportunity to mean something and be meaningful, whatever it is, whoever you're bringing along with you on your journey, however you are approaching your journey, at the end of it, you will see some results that you can appreciate. You will see something that makes this journey worthwhile. And I wholeheartedly believe that HBCUs, without a doubt, give us the opportunity to continue legacies, to help build, and just help uplift our communities in ways that other institutions simply cannot. That's why I work so tirelessly with different aspects and avenues within the HBCU infrastructure, from recruitment that I used to do in undergrad, to being on the Fort Valley State University Foundation Board of Directors, helping to raise funds and create scholarships and reimagine what Fort Valley State University is. It's a lifelong dedication that I feel will reap generational benefits. There are things within our community that date back to the beginning of time as African Americans, realizing that ultimately a rising tide raises all ships. With Fort Valley, the idea of coming together as a community looks different in several different spaces. So in that coming togetherness, that means that we often rely on each other to continue to build upon the legacy of Fort Valley State University. And that coming together and building upon that legacy looks different for any of us depending on the space that we are in life. Sometimes it's simply sharing a story that helps to guide somebody through their troubled time because you were able to share that experience of Fort Valley. Sometimes it's just showing up in different spaces to say, hey, a Fort Valley graduate was here. And then other times, and most key, it is about offering financial contributions to ensure that that legacy perseveres. So being in this BRIC campaign allows for us to continue to have opportunity and resources passed throughout generations. And by adding to that brick campaign, you're also adding a brick to the actual legacy of Fort Valley State University. Empower the possible, brick by brick.